I would now like to introduce you. Let's start a conversation. And I will introduce you to our team one, which is Bob, Ben, and Linda. Now, Bob, Ben, and Linda, I'm going to let Bob choose. I have got 4 topics. You can pick topic 1, topic 2, topic 3, or topic 4. What is your topic, Bob?
I don't know what the topics are, though.
Yeah, you just got to say 1, 2, 3, or 4.
Okay, 4.
Early morning walk. I discovered a lost puppy in the Bob. Early morning walk. I discovered a lost puppy in the
park. We can't hear.
No, Bob, you have to start a conversation, and then your other team members will join in on the conversation.
So I keep talking.
Yes.
Oh, I can do that. Hey. Early morning walk, I found a lost puppy in the park. It wasn't very well. It was walking, the puppy was walking very slow, did not look healthy. So we proceeded to, with my friends, to come over and help and see what we could do for the puppy. And one of my friends said,
where in the park did you find this puppy, Bob? And what do you think was wrong with that puppy? Was it that it was too hot during the day or early morning? Was it too cold?
It appeared to be stressed. And also it appeared that it was lost, the puppy was lost and a little bit distressed. But because we had a number of people there to help us, Ben said,
where are we going to take this puppy? Why? Where did you first see it? How did you come to see it? Where was it at the time? Was it walking? Was it limping? Was it injured in any way? Was it running from something? Did it appear hungry?
Didn't appear to be injured, although the puppy did appear to be not well, and it was very reluctant to come near us because it was frightened. So it had been traumatized in some way, whether it had been mistreated or left alone, and it was disorientated. So then my friend Linda said,
do you think we would be justified in taking this lost puppy to a vet? You know, being justified, would we get into trouble from the owner for taking it to the vet, or in trouble from the police at all? What do you think, Ben?
It would depend on if the dog was microchipped or not, and how old the dog was, and if they thought you looked suspicious enough with it, and if you really wanted to harm the dog. It would also depend on what it looked like, how big it was, or if it was a small dog. It could be this big, or it could be that big. But it also depends how sick it was and how much it would cost the vet to get it fixed, if it was going to or not. Bob?
Well, being an avid pet lover, I didn't want to justify all these questions. I just wanted to help the dog that was in trouble. So we all agreed that we should help the dog in some way, and we couldn't seem to find the owner or anyone who owned the pet. We did try and coax the dog to get a drink of water from a nearby tap, but that dog was very reluctant and didn't respond to any of our help. So Linda said,
well, really, I think we would be justified, one, door knocking the neighbours around the park to see if they have lost a dog, or again justified to actually go to the vet. And because it's only, you did say that it was a little puppy that was lost and wasn't well. So we could actually pick it up and carry it to the car to find a vet. What do you think, Ben?
It would depend on how far the vet was, whether you wanted to walk or drive. And I don't know, it would also depend on what you were seeing at the time and how far away it was at the time.
I happen to have the RSPC's number on my phone, also the FBI's number, just to finish this conversation. Thank you.
If anyone, actually, I'm going to, just so everyone gets into how the timings work, can everyone actually see it at the minute?
Yeah, we can. We're well over 30
I'm
seconds.
going to let it finish, Di, because I wanted to get your thoughts. Here you go.
Yeah. But Linda was justifying it. That's why we went over.
No, I wasn't.
I love that timer.
Pat, are you ready as Team 2 leader?
Oh, yeah.
Can you put that distraction down? So, Pat, you have question.
did.
I mean, you have statement 1, 2, or 3. Which one would you like?
2.
At midnight, the star shone brightest over. At midnight, the star shone brightest over. Pat's team is Pat, Jess, and Sheila. Take it away, Pat.
Okay. At midnight, in the middle of the bush, the beautiful stars were out. And there was one beautiful star, which was the biggest star of all. It shone brightest over the lagoon. Jess.
And then it fell out of the sky, and I was at the bottom of the river to catch the star. Now, believe it or not, the star is freezing cold. Freezing. So I threw it off my hands, and it landed on oh, Sheila, you're on.
It landed on our campfire, put it out. We were going to cook our dinner and we couldn't because the star was so cold that as soon as it hit the warm wood was totally frozen. So we had to eat our dinner cold. But meanwhile, we still had this star and we didn't know what to do with it. What is it? What's it made of? Should we do anything with it? Should we just dig a hole and bury it because it really wanted to come to Earth and needed somewhere to live while it was on Earth? Should we take it to somebody who knows about these things? In fact, we had a lot of things to think about. To make up our minds, we asked Pat.
Our star, we thought to ourselves, it could be really worth a lot of money. It's something from the sky, millions and millions and millions of miles away. So we decided we would go and find a person that studies the stars and see if they'd offer us money for it. But the amount of money was so big. And Jess decided
to eat the star to see what it tasted like, if it was worth the money. Now, I was really, really worried to see what it would taste like, but I was so game to know. And it tasted like fairy floss. Yes, everyone, fairy floss. Who would have thought a star in the sky tasted like fairy floss?
Yeah.
So we started to question whether or not it was worth it. Did we have a faulty star? Were all the stars like fairy floss, or did we just have a faulty one? So I had a conversation with Sheila and we come up with a bit of a plan.
Well, we thought that maybe it's an experimental star, that someone was trying out different sorts of stars. So someone somewhere would want to know what became of this star. And we might make inquiries here and there. I think we'd be justified in contacting universities where they have people who study astronomy and whatnot, and other places like that. And if we could get anybody wildly interested in our star, in which case we shouldn't just contact universities, because you'd want somebody with a sack full of money to pay for our star. We'd have to find somebody really rich and eccentric who's passionate about astronomy, and with the university's information for backup, we could then get the rich person to cough up the money, and Pat will tell us what happened next.
We hunted high and low for someone who would pay the money for a star, a world famous star, a fairy floss star. I mean, it's just 1 in a million. So we hunted and hunted and hunted, and we finally found a person who would buy our star. We got enough money for us all to live happily for the rest of our life. And that's the end of our story. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you kindly, Pat. And Donald, please, we're finished.